And good morning, Queen. You're my best friend. Good morning, Jimmy.
Hi, buddy.
How are you?
I'm okay.
I'm all right. How was Denver?
Denver was better than expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a complete bust, and 4 of the 5 shows were oversold.
Nice.
So it was my best trip out there by far.
Feedback was great on it. A lot of people tweeting me saying, holy shit, Jimmy's killing it here. So
Yeah, Jimmy did okay. Chip got tremendous ovations.
Really?
Literally fucking Chip Chipperson does better than I do on stage. Whenever I'm having a slow moment, I just yank Chip out. It fucking makes them happy.
and they eat it up.
They do.
Very good. So, I just want to move on with my fucking life and my career, but for some reason, Anthony will not let me do that, which is extremely strange to me. He spent 2 hours on his show pretty much trying to destroy what I've done in radio, what I've done with the Opie and Anthony show, kind of destroy me as a person. And honestly, I'm saddened by it. I feel bad for him. I think it was completely pathetic. I had nothing to do with his firing, but for some reason he will not leave me the fuck alone. Period. Since he got fired 9 months ago, he's been passively aggressively taking shots at me on podcasts, allowing people on his show to trash me. Manipulating the haters out there. And, finally he decided to go public and tell the world what he thinks about me. That's pretty much the facts here. I knew for many, many years that Anthony, disliked me immensely. I knew for many, many years he was manipulating people behind the scenes to also dislike me immensely. I tried to talk to Anthony about our issues over the years. I tried. I mean, I got problems. I got issues. Yes, of course I do. I've also try to, take care of those issues with therapy and other things. The fact is, me and Anthony have not had a relationship since 1999. That is a fact. Before that, from 94 to 99, we were like best friends, literally best friends, doing this radio show and being incredibly successful with it. But then yesterday he chose to like basically say that I hadn't really nothing to do with the success of the Opie and Anthony show, which is ridiculous. I'm not gonna defend what I do as a radio guy. I'm not gonna defend what I did for the Opie and Anthony brand because that's just ridiculous and not fair, and he knows it. So I don't know where this is coming from. I know when he got fired, I said it, Jimmy said it, we all said it, that it was completely unfair. He should not have gotten fired for the tweets. Absolutely. We've said that. We also did try to save his job. I don't know how many times I have to say that. We absolutely did. Okay? Even with the fact that I did not have a very good relationship with the guy. And like I said Friday, it would be crazy on my part to not defend him and try to keep him here because the Opie and Anthony brand was so strong no matter what kind of relationship me and Anthony had. My thoughts were this. The show was absolutely coming to an end. We were definitely in very, very different spots as far as what we wanted to do with the radio show. So my thought was, as we were coming to the end of a contract, that maybe it would be time to split. But it would be time to split maybe here. It was a thought I had. Let's just split up the show. I could do my own thing. I could more than hold my own. Anthony could more than hold his own. And then, of course, Jimmy would be stuck in the middle, which would have been fun to see how that would have played out. There was no guarantee that this company was going to keep me and Jimmy or anyone else here. There was none whatsoever. None. And with that said, once again, me and Anthony never talked about continuing. Never. So I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know why he has to, take it out on me. I have no idea. If Jimmy or anyone else wants to maybe pipe in, that's fine. But the fact is, everyone decided to stay. Everyone. Not one person left when Anthony got fired. The whole staff behind the scenes, Jimmy, everyone decided to stay. They all had, decisions to make in their mind. And in the end, everyone decided to stay. So to say that I'm a tough boss, yes, I absolutely am. I have to get things, done. I mean, this is a huge radio show with a lot of moving parts, a lot of people that work on it. Yeah, I had to be a tough boss at times, and people absolutely didn't like the things I said and did. And I actually, over the years, did take notice of that, and tried to adjust the way I do talk to people, and adjust the way I manage people. I'm still learning and still trying to do a better job with that. But what Ant did last night, excuse me, I only slept like an hour, was just completely and utterly uncalled for, period. I reached out to the guy on many occasions, said, look, we need to, get a beer. We need to grab a bite to eat. And he decided he wanted to try to do it on Twitter over the weekend, because I finally just kind of had it with the passive aggressive shots and stuff. So I actually was trying to have fun with some of the hate that was coming my way, and then he jumped on board. It was all about, I guess, how I handled negotiations over the years. The fact is, I always was very close with negotiations with management and my agent. At this point, I can negotiate my own contract. I just know how to fucking do that shit. In the early days before we had an agent, I had to negotiate all the contracts. I thought of a story last night when I was going to bed where we were moving to Boston from Long Island. And they were paying us really, really shitty money, which, proves I wasn't that great at actually negotiating back then. And I actually gave Anthony pointers and tips on what to tell the general manager at the time, Bruce Mittman, on how to get a couple extra $1,000. The point being that Ant is just lying when he says that he really thought I was going to leave and that I was putting everyone's jobs, in what's the word I'm looking for?
Jeopardy.
Huh?
Jeopardy.
In jeopardy. Did you ever feel that, Mars, that I was putting everyone's lives in jeopardy around here?
No.
Thank you, Mars. It was a negotiation tactic. It's a lame negotiation tactic. So many radio guys have used it over the years, including Howard Stern, where you threaten, I'm going to leave, I'm going to leave, I'm going to leave. And you hope that, you have some kind of pull, and that the bosses are going to come to you and go, oh, my God, he means it this time. But I never meant it. And me and Anthony have the same agent. And if he really thought that I meant I was going to leave, all he had to do was call Bob, and Bob would have absolutely told him that I wasn't leaving whatsoever. The point was that Anthony wanted to sign like 5-year deals around here, 3-year deals around here. And working very closely with Bob, I felt like we were worth way more money than that. When we came to satellite radio, we were very, very damaged goods. So even though we make a great living and we made a lot of money when we came to satellite radio, it was nothing close to what we deserved and what we were worth. So my thinking was, why sign a 5-year deal at one salary where you're not going to get any bonuses, any raises for 5 years? So my thought was, let's get shorter contracts. So then they knocked it down. Well, how about 3 years? And I said no, because they would hit you with a number, and then for the next 3 years, you would have to make that number. My thought was, well, if we could get it down to 2-year contracts, then the third year would be a new contract. I hope people could follow this. And that would be almost a guarantee that we would at least get a bump up. And it worked beautifully. We started signing 2-year deals, and the first year of every 2-year deal was a nice raise for everybody. So I don't know what he's talking about as far as, fucking with everyone's livelihood with contracts and stuff. I knew exactly what I was doing. The fact is, Anthony did not get involved with negotiations. Our agent would fly in from L.A. to try to sit down with me and Anthony. Sometimes he would fly in just to want to shoot the shit, and our agent is an absolute bore. So I understand not wanting to hang out with him. But then when it came to contract time, Bob would come into town, and he would literally be outside that door. He lives in L.A., and he's like, all right, where you guys want to eat? And every single time, Anthony just wanted to go home. And this was close to trying to figure out contracts. So that alone was not fair. whatsoever. Because then I would go with Bob and have to sit through his fucking boredom and try to figure out little things that we can maybe get in a contract, including more money for me, more money for Anthony, more money for Jim, more money for the staff, possibly get more vacation days, try to get some shit done with the studio. This was all the shit I had to do behind the scenes as Ant decided, no, I just want to go home. So for him to take, shots at me at how I handled negotiating is ridiculous, because he just didn't even want to be involved in the whole fucking process. So I don't know what to tell you. So then, like, we started going at it on Twitter over the weekend over that point. And then all of a sudden he's like, my show or your show. And I felt, after 20 years, I deserved, maybe we could try to figure out some shit behind the scenes. A beer, dinner, whatever, And he chose not to. And I even said to him, look, stop manipulating the haters. Stop stop exaggerating the truth. And then I'll sit down and have a beer with you and we could figure some shit out. Because the fact is that they don't even give a fuck Ant was fired anymore around here. But that's on him to figure out how to come back here. I know they didn't give a fuck after a few months. But, I mean, leading up to his firing, if he wants shit on the table and if he wants to be honest with himself, what he should bring up is the fact that the company was very, very mad at Anthony Cumia. They were mad that he was missing a lot of days of work. Now, Anthony would argue, well, I deserve my time off, and he's absolutely right. The problem they had was him coming in, not coming in last minute and putting the whole show in turmoil as we're running around trying to figure out how we're going to do the show that day. Because the point is, I could do radio with anyone, but I need time to at least, set up my guys and set up people who want to come in here and do radio with. They were really annoyed by that he was missing so many fucking days or coming in late. He could only blame traffic so many times before the company's going to, raise their eyebrows and go, what the hell's going on with this guy? Why is he missing so many fucking days? Bob was called on that. Anthony was talked to about that. They were really annoyed by that point. Secondly, they were also very, very annoyed with the fact that the race rants were going on day after day after day, and they were worried that someone out there, a blogger, was going to take a soundbite of what Anthony said, put it online, and fucking it would be blown out of proportion. That was another thing that was told to Bob, our agent. Now, I don't have a relationship with Anthony, so I have no idea if Bob ever talked to Anthony about that. I'm not going to sit here and say Bob absolutely did. I have no idea. But they were deeply concerned about the direction of the show and the amount of race rants that were going on this fucking show, period. And Ant knows that somehow, some way. So if he wants to openly talk about his firing, maybe he should take some kind of responsibility and discuss everything that was going on behind the scenes before it led to his firing, period. As far as me and him goes, and as far as trying to work out our issues, I know I tried. I know that he obviously had major problems with, something, but he never, ever vocalized it. We would not talk before we did this radio show. For many, many years. We didn't talk. We didn't put the show together anymore. We just came in here, turned on the mics, and we went at it, it's amazing that we had the success we did under the circumstances, because we literally stopped working on the show, stopped talking to each other, stopped talking when the mics were off. And then we would have blowouts because, we couldn't take it anymore. And then that was the only time in the last fucking 15 years we literally were on the phone together. And we would work out our problems, and it would actually feel good. And then we would promise, well, we should start hanging out again. We should, maybe do some more dinners. And then I would, and this breaks my heart, to be honest with you. And then I would say to Anthony, I go, man, it would be really cool if, you saw where I lived. He goes, yeah, I would really like that. That would be really nice. The fact is, and I only bring this up because he's trying to, tell everyone yesterday what kind of fucking person I am. Here's a guy I did 20 years of radio with. We had an amazing run. I'm proud of what I did. I'm proud of what he did. I'm proud of what we did together. If you want to spin it and say I'm useless and it was all Ant and stuff, whatever. I'm not going to change your mind. That's fine. But I know what the truth is. So I would go, Ant, it would be really nice, if you come over and, check out where I live. Here is a fact. Anthony has no fucking idea where I even live. He's never been to my house. Okay? I've been in my new house for 8 years. He's never fucking seen my house. I have 2 kids. I bring this up only because he's questioning my character as a human being. I got 2 kids. He's never met my daughter. He wouldn't know what she fucking looked like if she crawled right by his fucking face. I have a son that is 5 years old. He met him once. The only reason he met my son was because my wife came in here once to meet me so we could go to lunch after the fucking radio show. Okay? This is the type of shit I was dealing with behind the fucking scenes. So for him to, try to question my character and question me as a human being is completely and utterly ridiculous. When I got married in Philly, it was a 3-day event. I didn't expect everyone to go there for 3 fucking days, but we set up a really, really nice wedding. Most people have said that it's the best wedding they've ever been to. Anthony went for half of a day. He decided during my wedding to go to Atlantic City and take some of the staff with him. They literally got up. I know I'm saying literally again, so have fun with that on Twitter as well, whatever. They got up halfway through the wedding because they would rather be at the Borgata down in Atlantic City, and they just left my wedding. Him with a few of the staff members. That hurt me a lot, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie to you. And then, Jimmy stayed there the whole time, had a great time, gave me a hug. He knew how important it was to me, gave me a ridiculous check, really nice wedding gift. And, and nothing. I mean, call me whatever, but, I am sentimental in the end. I never got a wedding gift from the fucking guy in the end either. So this is the shit I was dealing with. We had no fucking relationship whatsoever. And this show was coming to an end. I absolutely was thinking, it's time to move on, but I was trying to figure out how we do that. And then July came along and Anthony got fired. And there was obviously no fucking possibility of us continuing together. There was just none. We never talked about it whatsoever. He set up a home studio way in advance, and now he's trying to spin that and saying, well, I never knew when the guy was going to leave, so I was protecting myself. That's just not true. That's just not true. He set that up a long fucking time ago. And if we were going to do a podcast, the amount of work that would have taken to get that off the ground and to make it work, because the podcasting world is still kind of squirrely. We did not have that in us. We weren't talking anymore. There would have been no way to set up an actual podcast network. And I tried to take the high road, and people were like, when are you going to be on Ant's show and stuff? And I knew all of this already, that the guy fucking despised me and didn't fucking like me, but I was trying to be cool, like, oh, I don't know, someday. And then when he did reach out to me, I'm like, look, dude, I had a simple request. I go, look, how about we get a beer or have dinner and try to talk some of this shit out that obviously is bothering both of us. And then I would love to do, your show. Maybe it would be a new beginning. Who the fuck knows? But that's why I never did Anthony's show, because I knew a long time ago what he thought of me, and I wasn't going to fucking fake it and go in there and make believe, hey, pal, what's going on? So, yeah. So I guess the other point is, he always wanted the radio show without me, and he's got it. So I don't understand why he won't just move on with that. I don't get it. He thought it was useless. He thought it was just a fucking board op, whatever. He's got what he wants. So fucking just move on with your radio show. I'm gone, and you don't have to deal with my shit anymore. Just go. But he won't, for whatever reason. He needs to blame someone. He's fucking really fucking pissed off that he got fired. I would be too. But, the fact is, he said it. People have said it to me. They said if I got fired, Anthony would have continued here, period. And we all know that's true. So I'm just asking him just to fucking move on, period. I'm not doing this tit for tat. I don't give a fuck what he says today on his show. Go there. I've promoted it way more than he's promoted me, or I've said way more nice things about him than he's ever said about me. Go to anthonycumia.com. You can listen today. I'm sure he'll fucking rant and rave again. But like I said on my Twitter, I'm not the problem. Whatever's eating him, inside, he's got to figure it out. Because in the end, I'm not the fucking problem. Everyone stayed. Everyone. Not one person walked when Ant left. So that, I'm some shitty fucking boss. And secretly, just about everyone behind the scenes thanked me for staying here. They said, thank you, thanks a lot. Because my life would have been pretty fucked up if you decided to leave too. So, yeah, I'm devastated how this turned out. Absolutely, I wish I could say something differently. I wish, but the fact is, me and Anthony fucking don't like each other whatsoever. Period. And I'm glad he finally is, showing the people that, because he was hiding behind that for a long fucking time. So in a weird way, when he went off yesterday, I was very, very relieved. I'm like, there you go, thank you for finally, admitting it. So, I mean, we are doing very, very well here. Very well. And I don't know, maybe it bothers him. I don't know. I mean, he's an extremely talented guy. I hear he's doing well. I don't subscribe to a show. I don't listen to a show. And to tell you the God's honest truth, I didn't even listen yesterday. I have people. They gave me the bullet points. That's all I needed. I can imagine, how bad and ugly it was, And, I truly just wish the guy nothing but the best. I mean, we had an amazing run, I take pride in what we did. So, but in the end, I'm not the problem, brother. Just not. I've taken care of a lot of issues. I mean, some of the stuff he brought up yesterday is so old and long ago. I know the therapy I've been in has definitely taken care of some of this shit. Not all. But that's also what made me a pretty damn good radio, host, having a fucking crazy side to it. So you take the good with the bad. I would love to know if he took any fucking responsibility for what happened to him, what happened to others around here yesterday when he was ranting and raving. Or did he just tell the world that he's just an amazing fucking guy and, everyone else is the problem? Anyone?
I mean, this is a discussion you two should be having. So there's nothing yes, I'm just saying there's nothing I'm going to say. Because if I say something you don't like, then I got to take up Ant's position, and then me and you are fighting, and he's not here to defend his own position.
Oh, I get it.
So
Jim Norton is completely in the middle. I mean, the latest thing is now people think I'm holding you to a contract or something.
No, I don't feel in the middle. I don't feel even that uncomfortable. People think, and I appreciate everybody saying, like, it's not about me.
Right.
People are going, oh, Jim, I feel bad for you. You guys don't have to. I'm a grown up. There's other things that are bothering me when I came in today that literally have nothing to do with you and Anthony, as odd as that is. It's zero to do with you two.
Right.
It's weighing on my mind. I watched what he said. It's probably not what you think if you didn't see it, but you guys got to, there's just nothing I'm going to say that's going to work to fix it.
Right.
I can't fix it. I can't fix it. And anything I say is either going to be misinterpreted by him or misinterpreted by you. There's not because he's not in the room.
Right.
I would rather have you guys had this discussion on the radio together.
I did not want to do this on the radio. I did not want to do this on the radio. These are fucking deep fucking wounds that cut extremely deep. And everyone talks about how Ant doesn't like conflict and this and that, but then in the end, he causes like incredible conflict. Incredible conflict. I didn't even want to fucking respond to what he did yesterday, but obviously I was pushed into a corner again. I reached out to him a bunch of fucking times, even after he got fired. He's got text messages from me saying, hey, man, what about a beer? Let's try to talk. I said it on Twitter when he was like, your show or my show. Let's not do this on Twitter. Man. We have great lives. That's what's so ridiculous. He did what he did yesterday for 2 straight hours from a state-of-the-art studio in a multi-million-dollar house. We have great lives because we got together. The first time I saw Ant's house before we got together, he didn't even have a car. He was on blocks in his front yard. It was a shitty rental. He was using the company van to get around. We have great lives. So what? Now you have to fucking try to destroy me? Are you kidding me? We were great together. You could downplay what I did for us and the brand all you want. I'm not going to defend that to anyone. I know how good I am on the fucking radio, period. And I also know where I'm not that good, to be honest with you. I was never supposed to be the funniest guy in the room, never.
I will jump in and say he never said, and I did watch it last night, he never said you weren't funny or you weren't good on the radio. He never said that. He
said that I was a program director with a microphone.
He was talking about, and this is where I don't want to get into because I have to take it. He was talking about the attitude sometimes you have in studio, but he wasn't talking about Opie isn't good on the air. Opie didn't contribute. He never said anything like that.
Right.
He never said anything like that to me personally.
I did lie about one thing over the years. Like I when I started going to therapy about 6 or 7 years, I kept saying I went for my mom. I actually went for Anthony as well. But I was trying to downplay that because that sounds like, it makes you sound kind of like a pussy, to be honest with you. But the fact is, I had issues growing up with my mom that really affected me as an adult. And it was finally time to take care of that. But also what pushed me to therapy was I couldn't handle him anymore. I didn't know how to talk to him anymore. I didn't know how to get to him anymore. I learned growing up that you yell and scream when you have a fucking problem. As you notice, I'm not fucking yelling and screaming. But I didn't know how to get to him to at least talk about our issues and try to figure shit out. It was driving me nuts. And it definitely influenced my mood. It definitely did. Other things certainly as well. But, I don't feel as trapped or moody since he left in July. I feel kind of free, to be honest with you. Because we just did not fucking communicate anymore, and we had no fucking relationship, and I did not know how to break through that. I just did not. Whether it's my fault, his fault, our fault, that's fine. But I did not know how to do it. Maybe I just didn't have the skills to do it. But Lord knows I tried. He knows the conversations we had when things got really, really bad, and we finally had a fucking talk, and we would yell and scream, and we would get some things done, and it kind of felt good. And then I would try to continue that. I'm like, all right, man, this is a good start. Why don't we try to, at one point it was stupid. I'm like, why don't we just try to get breakfast once a week and we'll just shoot the shit. We never did it. We never did it once. I couldn't tell you the last time I actually had a meal with Anthony. I think it was last April when we did Unmasked. That was the last time we had a meal together. And before that, it was years and years and years, period. And it was a hell of a way to do a show every day. And then you're sitting there going, oh my God, we're one of the biggest radio shows in the country, but we fucking can't stand each other. This is fucking nuts. It was nuts. We didn't work on the radio show for 6 or 7 years. We would just come in here, nod at each other, turn the mics on, and then and put out a pretty good radio show. We did 20 years. Our chemistry was amazing for 15. The last 5, our chemistry wasn't that good whatsoever. It just wasn't. So I just want to move on, period. And to Anthony, this company doesn't even fucking hate you, but that's on you to figure out. That's on you. But there was way more to it before your firing. You know that. You know how fucking annoyed and pissed off they were getting at you. And honestly, it bothered me as well. Yes. I'm not going to be a pussy and hide. When you would call in sick last minute a lot, every once in a while shit happens, of course. But it was happening so much, it was completely annoying and would put me in a fucking bad mood. Yes, you're right. But guess what? It would put other people around here in a bad mood as well. But that's up to them to fucking speak out about. I'm not going to fucking throw anyone under the bus personally. Whoever wants to talk can talk. But they were fucking mad too. Like, what the fuck, man? We're trying to get things done here. We were on, some good rolls there. And he was talked about it. The company was fucking mad about it. And then there were hints, well, maybe he has an issue. And honestly, I said, leave me the fuck out of that, because I don't know. I officially don't know if you have an issue with, alcohol, whatever. And I told him that. I said, just leave me the fuck out of that. And we don't hang out socially so I can honestly tell you I have no fucking idea if he has an issue. So, I'm not perfect. I got my things. I know it. No one has to tell me. I get it. But I also know we've had a pretty good run since July, and it's been really a lot of fun. I think people are enjoying themselves around here. I know listeners are happy in general. I know the company is happy, which I guess makes me a company man because I'm happy that the company I work for is happy. Whatever. A lot of people are right. When Ant left, I probably should have left. One of the first things I said when me and Jimmy came back in the air was, we have been put in a horrible situation. And to this day, I believe that. I believe it probably would have been easier to just walk, not work with Ant, because that was not a possibility. To this day, it's not a possibility. And then maybe try to find another, radio job somewhere else. You're probably right about that. In the end, that probably would have calmed down a lot of the haters out there. But, I did what I could for Anthony. I absolutely did. And if he wants to think, and he said it, hinted at it, that, that I probably didn't do as much as I could have, that's just a lie. That he should have, tried to save what we did the last 20 years. Yeah, I got that part of it. I absolutely was. The Opie and Anthony brand was fucking tremendous and really strong. And even though I knew it was probably time to split the show and move on, we could have done it here. We could have done it here. I do mornings, he does afternoons, whatever. Jimmy bounces back and forth. And then maybe somehow we work out in there where we would do a couple hours a week with each other just to keep it going a little bit, just a little bit. That was my thoughts. Honestly, Ann has no idea that those were my thoughts because, once again, we barely fucking talked off the air. Barely. But to say I wasn't trying to, save the brand or save his job is just complete and utter bullshit. And this is the last time I'm going to say it. It's bullshit. I only knew the company was going to continue with me and Jimmy after the contract when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're like, all right, let's start negotiating a new deal. And I'm like, wow, okay. And me and Jimmy were having good shows and working on our chemistry. And I was like, God, this is, new and fun. Okay. And then, yeah, we signed a new deal. Yeah, we certainly did. And in the meantime, Anthony moved on quickly and started up his show. Quickly. I mean, all he knew was that we were still under contract. Within that time, he could have talked to, I don't know if he talked to other people, but he certainly didn't talk about it with me. Like, well, all right, when the contract's up, why don't we try to figure out, how we continue? Never had the fucking conversation. Never. And the people that work for him, they started up the Kumia show. I don't even know what it is officially, Twitter account. And, I got it when they followed everybody from the show except me. I got it. Trust me. If you were trying to hurt me, you did. And then I try to make a little joke on Twitter about like, oh, it must have been an oversight or something, jokingly. And then someone around here got to them, and then they begrudgingly, I'm sure, decided to follow me. I don't know why he continues to just take it out on me. I don't know. There's a whole room and offices filled with people that stayed as well. And he gave them all a fucking free pass and just fucking focused his anger on me. Honestly, it's not fair. I always try to do right by him and us as a radio show, period. So I don't know. That's my my thoughts on what happened yesterday, I guess. Should say fucking not worry about it. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, George. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just move on. We had a great run. A great run. And then, after yesterday, he's made it impossible to ever do a radio show with him again, to be honest with you. I don't know how I don't know how I even think about doing another radio show with him. There were a ton of fucking low blows. I enjoyed both sides, but thank you, Opie, for being open and honest on the air. Well, as best I can. I don't know. Like I said, I don't even want it to be a me versus him. I never even thought that it would come down to this. I knew there were issues and stuff. I'm like, all right, he's doing his thing. It sounds like he's doing well. I get the feedback from people like he's doing well over there. I'm like, okay, cool. And I know we're doing well over here. And that's how it should have been. That's how it should have just been. But it's ridiculous. I mean, we're both multimillionaires, and we're gonna fucking go tit for tat. Really? We don't get along, and that's okay. But we have great lives. Fucking great lives. I guess people, just so you know, I guess they call me Greg Shells or something. I swear to you, it doesn't bother me in the fucking least. Doesn't bother me in the fucking least. Go back to all the lies you guys all started about me and my family. Do that. Because the Greg Shells is just ridiculous. What does that mean? Like, people are scared. People are scared when they're around me. Good for them.
It's not scared, no. It's not a scared thing.
What is it?
That you're the boss.
Yeah, I didn't want to be the boss. I never wanted to be the boss. Anthony chose not to be the boss. I never wanted to be the boss. There's your headline. But when me and Anthony got together, I was the one that had, all the knowledge in this fucking business. Anthony is extremely funny. I'm not going to say was or any of that shit. Anthony's extremely funny and extremely talented. But he didn't know the first fucking thing about radio. So believe it or not, I took him under my wing and taught him this whole fucking business. And then somewhere in there was a jump off point where he got it, and he excelled at this. But he didn't know shit about anything. And then that put me in the position where I had to be a boss. I did not want to be the boss ever. I just wanted to try to focus on doing a creative, funny, thought-provoking at times radio show. I was pushed into that position, and he could have certainly helped me with that, but he always just fucking chose to get the fuck out right after the show, not get involved. And there were real issues behind the scenes at times. And there could have been issues that I personally caused myself, yes. But he chose to avoid all of it. So then I look like a fucking, raving lunatic at times when I act out and yell and scream and get frustrated because things aren't being done properly. I didn't have management skills going into this.
I'm just saying that's what it was. Your mood kind of dictates the mood of the room, whether you want that or not. That's what that is.
Sure. You know what? I mean, there are times your mood does too. There were times Anthony's mood does too.
Yours much more. Dude, I'm not shitting on you. I'm telling you truthfully.
Right.
That's the truth.
Right. But I certainly don't feel that anymore. I don't. Okay. I feel like it's at a more manageable level. Because I would look at Anthony like, what the fuck? We can't even fucking talk. It would eat away at me inside. It would just eat away at me. I was diagnosed through some doctors having irritable depression, which you might want to look up. It's where you get depressed and really fucking frustrated because you feel like you're trapped and can't take care of situations in your life. Proud to say I don't really have that anymore or as much because the frustration has left my life. It was extremely frustrating trying to get that guy to talk about anything. And, I have a feeling what this is about way back in 99. There was a girl around that, I probably should have been nicer to. I know I apologized for that years later, and maybe it was too late. Try to explain what was going on back then and the atmosphere and why I was really frustrated that, she was always around, and it made it harder and harder to try to work on the radio show. I know now I was wrong, and I did try to talk to him about that. I know I have apologized for that. But you know, maybe he never got past that. You know, which is fine. I mean, I don't expect him to accept anything. I don't expect him to accept my apology. I
can't speak for Aunt, but that's humiliating shit. Like when someone's mean to your girlfriend,
right?
A lot. That's humiliating shit,
right?
That's really humiliating shit.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, but we were also trying to do a radio show, and she literally would just be in the studio the entire time, and we weren't talking anymore. And now I'm like, oh my God, now I'm competing on air just to talk to the guy to try to, you know, figure out what we were doing that day. And I was really frustrated by that. And I handled it wrong. You're absolutely right, Jimmy. You're absolutely right. I handled it wrong. And I did apologize to him. I hugged it out with her. There was a time I hugged it out with her too, you know. But that's 16 years ago. That was 16 fucking years ago.
Things that happen early on define the way things are going to go.
Yeah.
With people. And when stuff like that happens and you feel, I can't speak for this, is where I'm not going to pretend I know what Anthony thinks about everything, because I don't. But I know that stuff like that defines our relationship between people. It's real hard to fix that stuff. It's real hard to fix that stuff.
Yeah.
Because resentment builds up deeply.
I mean, we probably should have fucking, you know, broke up the team back then. I mean, back in '99, I actually, you know, me and Aunt weren't talking at all. She was always around. Maybe I, you know, unfairly took it out on her. And I called my agent. I said, I'm done. I'm leaving. And he's like, are you crazy? Do you understand what is about to happen? You guys are about to be syndicated around the country, and you're about to become millionaires, officially become millionaires. I'm like, that's great, but I don't get, you know, I don't get along with the guy. You know, we're not talking. So Bob asked me, and this is the truth, I've told this story a few times. Bob asked me, is there anything we could do to salvage this? And that's when I said, you know, there's this guy, Jim Norton, that's been coming on the show and killing it. And, you know, if we could add him, you know, maybe that will kind of help us get through these radio shows, because we were literally, there's literally again, sorry, we would turn off the microphones and just not even look at each other. We would just kind of look around the room and look up in the sky and look over here, and I would leave and go take a leak. And it was just a horrible way to do radio. Not blaming you, Anthony, but that, you know, you want honesty. I presented the fact that, you know, I wanted to hire Jim to Anthony. He was not for it whatsoever, which is funny because, you know, A, you guys are friends. B, had and continue to have, because you do his show, great chemistry. But the fact is, in the beginning, he wasn't for it whatsoever, you know. But he had no solutions to the obvious issues, you know, that were in front of our faces. And that's the only reason Jimmy joined the show back then. It became something else, obviously, and, you know, love Jimmy to death, and me, Anthony, and Jimmy just had an amazing run together. You know, we always talk about me and Anthony and our amazing run, but it's not even fair to Jimmy because he's been around since '99, 2000. You know, Jimmy's done 15 fucking years here. So it wasn't just me and Anthony. It was us three together for the last 15 years that just did just amazing fucking stuff. You know. And then I just remember one other thing. So there was one other issue. I did try to quit a year and a half ago, you know, because there's rumors out there. Yes, I did. This cut extremely deeply, and as far as me trying to like just move on with the radio show and try to just like, you know, hammer it out with him. About a year and a half ago, I was actually at Sam's mother-in-law's house for some kind of fucking Jewish holiday, and all of a sudden, people that are very close to me start texting me and going, "Ant's trashing, you know, F.H. Riley's on Twitter." I'm like, what? So I go to Twitter, and Ant's pretty much, you know, live tweeting his experience at F.H. Riley's. So I get to the bottom of it, and it turns out my brother, Brett, hires a guy, a host at F.H. Riley's. Anthony comes in. I think there were fans there. And this guy Ant goes to this guy, I'm Anthony from Opie and Anthony. The guy didn't give a fuck. He didn't even, I swear to you, He didn't even know our radio show. He's like, okay, good for you, whatever. But then said, there's a wait. My brother was getting slammed that night. So that bothered Ant a lot. And I honestly, I don't blame him. I mean, if he goes to my brother's restaurant, he should get the red carpet treatment, period, yes. But the guy literally did not know who Anthony was. So then Anthony waited. He got frustrated by that. So he started tweeting, what the fuck, I got to wait at FH Riley's or whatever. I don't have the exact tweets. And then he sat down and tweeted some other kind of shitty things about my brother's restaurant and stuff and how the bill wasn't picked up or something like that. My brother Brett wasn't even fucking there. He was home. All right. When I found out about this, I'm like, holy crap. The least he could have done was texted me and said, yo, I'm at FH Riley's and, kind of being, even if he said I'm being treated shitty, that would have been fine. That would have at least been something. But he didn't contact me whatsoever. So then that was Saturday night or Friday night. I'm not sure exactly. And then it ate me inside all weekend, put me in a horrendous mood because now I'm like, wow, he's taking shots at my brother's restaurant. My brother has nothing to do with me and Ant's relationship and what he thinks about me. So we get into do the radio show Monday. I can't even look at him. My fault. Yes. I'm fucking seething inside. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Another radio show where we're fucking really pissed off at each other. So right before Ecstasy of Gold, my phone goes off. And a text. A lot of times my wife will text me when she's up just to tell me that, she's up and the kids are cool. So I look down. And the text says, the little cunt won't even look at me. I went, what? And I'm like, huh? What? Why is Aunt texting me that? What? Who's not looking at? Then I realized that the text was meant for somebody else and that he fucking sent it to me. I'm like, wow, okay. So I wasn't going to do a radio show that day. We had a huge blowout. Everyone fucking heard it. And I left and I went, and talked to Mel Karmazin. I said, I quit. And the guy would not let me fucking quit. He literally would not let me quit. And he calmed me down and says, look, I know you guys got issues and stuff, but you guys are good together. You got to, maybe you got to go in there, try to figure this shit out. And I did. But honestly, I don't know. There was something about that cut even deeper some of the other shit. And I don't think I ever got, over that because now he's fucking with my family. I mean, he was treated bad at FH Riley's. And we did end up talking about it. And we did end up patching it up. We did patch it up a little bit. And I apologized for my brother. My brother also told me to tell him, look, I just did not know the guy was there. And the host was brand new to the job. Brett, offered to pay his whole tab and all that. If Brett was there, the people that do know Brett at FH Riley's, he always does the fucking right thing. And I apologized because I'm like, yeah, they should have known who you were. They should have escorted you right to a table, pushed whoever was next out of the way, and you should have got the VIP treatment, and your bill should have been taken care of. Yeah, you're absolutely fucking right. But that one, I don't know.
You were mad at me for that one, too.
Huh?
You were mad at me for that one, too.
Well, I'm trying to keep you out because I to this day, I'm convinced he was, texting you. I can't prove that, but I really feel like he was texting you that day. Because I don't know who else he would be texting. It was just me, you, and him. I think he tried to claim later on he was texting his girlfriend or something, to be honest with you. But, yeah, and I wish at the time I had a better way to handle that, but I was seething all weekend because all I was doing was trying to enjoy my weekend, and now, he's live tweeting his experience at FH Riley's, my brother's fucking restaurant. He needs it. He needs that restaurant, and he needs his livelihood. And I'm sitting there going, holy fuck, And then, of course, the fans loosely, because, a long time ago, the fans split, were just completely attacking me, going, why the fuck isn't FH Riley's taking care of Anthony? Why does Anthony have to wait? Why this? They're just going with, what he was tweeting and just completely attacking me. And I'm like, I have fucking nothing to do with this. And as soon as I was able to try to do something about it, I did. And I took responsibility for him being treated shitty. But when he texted me by accident, when he meant to text someone else, I was just like, holy fuck. It was an eye-opener to what level we were at as far as our relationship goes. I doubt that I would have continued in October with Anthony. It was very convenient when he got fired, and then it was like, oh, okay, well, here's my opportunity to, move on from this. Yeah, absolutely. We all have opportunities in life. Yeah, absolutely. But I didn't force him out. I didn't push him out. And all I did was try to, keep him here, and then we could figure out what is next. And that was more for the brand than anything else, because the Opie and Anthony brand, once again, was fucking huge. Huge. And if I could do a show, and if he could do a show, that would keep the fans fucking happy. That would have been the best scenario. But I did try to save your job, Anthony. Period. I sleep very well at night knowing that I did the right thing. And whatever's really bothering you, I really would suggest you really start looking into it. I mean, to just take shots at me and no one else around here, I don't get it. So that's it. I'm moving on. Have been moving on. It's been a wonderful 9 months. It also was, as far as what we accomplished as a radio show, it was amazing. I wish we got along better through the process. I really do. But we didn't. I don't know how we were able to accomplish all that without having an actual relationship off the air. But we did. So, just do your show, man. Very talented. Very funny. Just do your show. I'll do mine. I got your message loud and clear yesterday, trust me. Loud and clear. I'm happy that it's finally out in the open, because it felt really kind of weird that I couldn't really openly really express the fact that I knew you fucking hated me. But now at least everyone knows. Len wants credit for the opening song. He suggested You're My Best Friend. There you go, Len. There's your credit. All right. If anyone wants to add anything, that's great. But if not, we can move on.
I would be interested to hear both of you do a show. No, not even together.
Right.
Where each one of you talks about is what you did. Not you, Opie. But I would love to hear Anthony do a show talking only about his side of what he did wrong.
Right.
And I would love to hear you do a show only with your side of what's wrong.
Right.
Because watching two people just say their side of it, and no one saying, okay, this is really where I fucked up. It's really hard to do that. It's really fucking hard to sit there and go, this is how I'm fucked up. And I'm not saying I'm great at it either. It's very, very difficult to do. But I guess because I know almost every part of this from both angles, I would much rather hear that from both people.
Right. Well, unfortunately, that's not happening.
I know it's not.
He went to a place yesterday I never thought he would go to be honest with you. I mean, that obviously was years and years of frustration. I get it. I do get why it happened, but I did give him opportunities to just sit down and fucking talk. I would have loved if we sat down and just yelled in my face for 2 hours. That would have been wonderful. That would have been fine. That would have been fine. I don't really think, I don't think I deserved, and I don't think we deserved what he did yesterday. Meaning the Opie and Anthony brand. I think we both of us deserve better to really try to air some of that shit out behind the scenes. I didn't take his bait. I'm like, I'm not going on your show, because I really did feel like it was some kind of a radio bit. Two guys that had known each other for 20 years are now going to fucking yell and scream at each other on a radio show. Trust me, we've done it in the past, and trust me, people love it when it goes down. But I just felt like this is, something that really probably should have been taken care of behind the scenes. Sorry, but that's what I thought. So, do wish you the best, Anthony. in the end, I wish you nothing but the best. I don't really like you. That is a fact. I don't like you. And I'm not going to sit here and make believe I do. But I wish nothing but the best. I really do. I have taken responsibility over the years. Maybe needed to take more. That's fine. But, you know, when you got fired, you put a lot of people's fucking livelihood on the line. And you were unfairly fired. Yes, you were. But there was a lot of moving parts leading up to your firing, and you know that. Plus the fucking culture we were involved in, where everyone was getting fired for the most ridiculous shit. We were doing a bit about it every day. The apology and who's getting fired for this and that. I just wonder somewhere in your head if you realized that those tweets could have been a problem. I wonder. If at any moment you were thinking, wow, man, with the culture that we're in, the bits we're doing on the actual radio show, could this be twisted in a way that could fuck me? But with that said, I'll stand by it. I don't think you should have been fired for it. You're absolutely right. So I hope everyone just moves on. You know, if you gotta hate me and continue with your shitty tweets and your you know, and your lies to my family, whatever. What am I gonna do? Me and my family knows what the truth is. If anyone has anything, they could speak up. If not, I'm just gonna move on.
What's there to say? I mean,
I love doing radio. I love doing it with Jimmy. We're having a good run. You know, what the future holds is whatever. That's fine. But I'm liking the direction we're going in, and I really like being in here every day more than I have in many, many years. And that's what I'm going to continue doing because I love doing this.